G'day everyone. Last week we held our 22nd board meeting where we checked progress against our timelines and talked about our critical club infrastructure. In particular, the upcoming progress of the Macquarie Point Stadium through the Tasmanian Parliament. When the licence for the Tasmania Football Club was announced in May 2023, it set out that the club would play its first game in the AFL and AFLW competitions in 2028. And at the time, a lot of people asked why we had to wait so long to play our first game. I can assure you that the club's board has never thought that we had more time to establish the club than we required. We knew we would have to work feverishly with all of the required stakeholders to be ready for 2028. I must say though that I am proud and excited about the progress that we've made so far as a club, and I wanted to touch on some of those key milestones that we've achieved to date. Firstly, the launch of the club and having nearly 215,000 founding members. The appointment of our inaugural board, CEO, and now the ever-growing support team. The Tasmania Academy of Leadership and Sport launched with 55 students on their way to achieve their off-field sports industry dream. The launch of our first mascot, yes, Rumman, designed by the school children of Tasmania. A growing football team, including our talent and recruitment team, and the confirmed entry into the VFL and VFLW in 2026. How exciting. Submission of our planning permit for the establishment of the club's training and administration facility in Kingborough, and the establishment of the draft and list rules for the club's AFL team, which is just waiting final approval. Today we sit just 2.5 years, that's just over 900 days from the opening siren of the Tasmania Devils' first ever AFL game, and we are already feeling the excitement around the club. But the reality is there is still so much more to do and the clock is ticking. Of course, our entry to the AFL and to be playing in 2028 will require the training and administration facility and Macquarie Point Stadium to be underway before the end of this year, 2025. We understand that the stadium in Hobart has been a matter of great interest to Tasmanians, and so it should be. It's a significant investment for our state. We've worked hard not to get drawn into the politics of the development, but we've been watching on with interest as commentary and data about the development has been used to push agendas. As a result, post this year's state election, we ran an independent and representative piece of research via a leading research company called Nature to get a better understanding of the views of our community and where there were gaps that could assist them in building understanding around the development. The research covered people from across the entire state, across age groups, across regions, across AFL followers and non-followers. It was not a piece of research talking to our members, but to the community more broadly, with a statistically significant sample and robust research methodology used. First and foremost, we tested people's top-of-mind responses to the prospect of a stadium at Macquarie Point. From the research, it's clear that the support of, or non-support of the stadium is not binary, and there's a lack of awareness on a number of key issues. What's clear is that there are large differences between the different demographics of those surveyed. The research showed that the support for the stadium is far stronger among young adult Tasmanians and households with children, whilst opposition is stronger among those who are older. We also tested to determine support across the different areas of our state. Support was strongest in Hobart, regional surrounds and the northwest coast. Opposition was strongest on the east coast. We wanted to understand more deeply the thinking of those who were opposed to the stadium. Interestingly, of those opposed to the stadium, 75% acknowledged the need for modern facilities that will attract high quality events to the state. For those who don't support the stadium, their major concern was the cost of the stadium. But it was also clear from the research that more than 50% of those who were opposed or neutral would be more positive if the stadium could be shown to be financially sustainable once built. More than 75% of those neutral or opposed did not know that the stadium is expected to have 337 event days over the year, including concerts, business events, sport and community events. 43% of the neutral or opposed didn't understand that the financial cost will be incurred over several years. Beyond stadium cost and related matters, we wanted to test awareness of a range of topics that have been raised in relation to the stadium. More than half of those opposing did not know the existing stadiums in Tasmania are not big enough to accommodate the expected crowd for Devils games. More than 75% of those neutral or opposing the stadium did not know that since the announcement of the Devils AFL and AFLW licences, the participation levels in junior football for boys and girls has increased by 40% year on year. So our conclusion is that the research found a few key insights. Young Tasmanian adults and households with families are far more supportive of the stadium than older Tasmanians. The major concern for those opposing relates to the cost of the stadium. However, a significant portion of those opposing would be more positive about the stadium if it were shown to be financially sustainable once built. And there are many critical facts currently not understood by the community that would answer some of the myths and questions about the stadium. This latest research has provided us with insights that should be very helpful to all those stakeholders that have, along with us, the responsibility to deliver something special and generational for our state. This is a tremendous opportunity to bring the Tasmanian community on this journey and genuinely make sure that this investment is one that benefits the entire state. What's also clear is that we need to work at pace. The timeline that sets out our path to 2028 is quickly shortening, and now is the time for us to work together to realise this transformational opportunity for our state. Thank you one and all again for your ongoing support, and go the Devils.